To have your life taken away by unforeseen circumstances is bad, but to have your life brutally taken away from you in a den of nasty, cold-blooded criminals is downright ugly, and that was the fate that befell Los Angeles rapper MoneySign Suede. Suede's death. On the 25th of April, 2023, well-known rapper MoneySign Suede was found dead at the correctional training facility in Soledad, confirmed by the officials with the Monterey County Coroner's Office and the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. A couple of the events leading up to his death are also well documented. Let's walk through it. At approximately 9:55 p.m. on April 25th, the correctional officers at Soledad were shocked at what they saw. During a regular institutional count, it was soon realized that Jamie Brugada, better known as MoneySign Suede, was not accounted for in his cell. This was quite an oddity. Not only was an inmate missing during the nightly count, but it was a celebrity inmate. The correctional officers responded immediately and went on the search for MoneySign Suede. During a search, he was found unresponsive in the worst possible place for homicide, the shower. Quite easily the most vulnerable place any human can be attacked, except in one's sleep, of course. He was discovered with signs of a knife wound to his neck, and this was also confirmed by his attorney, Nicholas Rosenberg. Around midnight on Tuesday, officials called Nicholas Rosenberg with word of the death of his client. They said it was a stabbing to the neck, Rosenberg said. They said they're investigating. Staff quickly initiated life-saving and resuscitative measures. They summoned emergency services to transport MoneySign Suede to an on-site medical facility for quick treatment, where he was pronounced dead. Angela Diaz, a secretary with the Coroner's Division of the Monterey County Sheriff's Office, confirmed that he died around 10:20 p.m. at the state prison. The California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, or the CDCR, has confirmed an investigation is underway by the prison's investigative services unit, as well as the Monterey County District Attorney's Office. The Office of the Inspector General was also notified, and the Monterey County Coroner will determine MoneySign Suede's official cause of death. The correctional training facility, where MoneySign Suede was housed, has more than 4,000 minimum and medium security inmates, according to the CDCR, and movements in the prison have been limited to facilitate the investigation. In this whole ordeal, there is a fact that really sticks out like a sore thumb. The location MoneySign Suede was found dead was a location he was not meant to be in the first place. Why was a fairly popular celebrity rapper sharing a housing unit with the general prison population? This strange decision also puzzled one of the inmates. The inmate, who asked to remain anonymous for fear of getting stabbed himself, said the rest of the unit began hearing the news very early the next morning when officials placed part of the prison in a lockdown and delayed serving them breakfast. The inmate also said the killing happened in a part of the prison that houses general population inmates. He questioned why a popular rapper was not housed in a sensitive needs yard, which is designed to protect those with specific safety concerns. Now, what exactly is a sensitive needs yard? The state of California began identifying certain vulnerable and targeted inmates as needing special protective environments in the late 1990s and created so-called sensitive needs yards for them starting in early 2002. More than 40 of the yards are now scattered within 20 of California's 34 prisons. This sensitive needs yard is designated for incarcerated people who have safety anxiety regarding living in a general population yard. Now, more specifically, they are cell blocks, common areas, and outdoor recreation yards set aside for male prisoners who would likely be harmed if they were in the general population with other prisoners. These prisoners include sex offenders, inmates with youthful appearances, inmates who have left prison gangs, have been assaulted, have enemies in the general prison population, have drug or gambling debts. Assignment to these facilities is made only after a careful review of each individual's case factors, potential safety concerns, and housing rehabilitation needs to ensure people can safely program together. While these programs have been in place for some time, the department has now placed them into regulations to provide consistent requirements for both programs. People who belong to these targeted groups still have to meet certain criteria in order to be designated as sensitive needs yards in accordance with the California Code of Regulation. These criteria include the following. Individual expresses safety concerns and requests a special needs yard designation. The individual has specific, documented, and verified systemic safety concerns. The individual does not pose a threat to the safety or security of the special needs yard population. If the individual is documented as a validated security threat group member, the person fulfilled the debriefing process. MoneySign Suede belongs to at least 2 of these targeted groups mentioned above. He had a youthful appearance and he had previously been assaulted before. According to his attorney, Nicholas Rosenberg, the rapper had been attacked in prison before Tuesday's incident. His attorney also cited that the report of his death came as a huge shock to him, his family, and the entire community. His attorney had this to say about him: "People are very shocked. He was a very popular guy, very mild-mannered. People loved him. And indeed, he was loved. Prior to the the news of his death, fans and his fellow artists had frequently posted his pictures, asking for him to be released from the correctional training facility. After news of his death began to spread on the morning of Wednesday, his loyal fans and other artists paid tribute to the Mexican-American rapper on social media. On Suede's official Instagram account, someone acknowledged the heartfelt messages of condolences being sent out to the rapper's family were being received. Here are some examples of the heartfelt messages he received. Rip MoneySign Suede, one of the only ones from Southeast LA, tweeted one fan. A second fan wrote, "Damn, rip paradise to MoneySign Suede, one of the most promising young talented artists from LA in recent years." Another wrote, "I'm tired of seeing my favorite rappers die. RIP MoneySign Suede, we believed in you." Someone else tweeted, "RIP MoneySign Suede, much more than LA's own Mexican-American Kodak, but who also channeled that same pain, indomitability, and sense of struggle." Rap journalist Jeff Weiss was among those paying tribute to MoneySign Suede, calling him a young regional hero, embodying the hopes and aspirations of the unsung and overlooked. Suede's prison time. Before MoneySign Suede did the time, he did the crime. Let's look into what this upcoming Los Angeles lyricist did to become imprisoned at the correctional training facility in Soledad. Trouble seemed to follow MoneySign Suede. Everywhere he went, he's been in and out of jail for years. He spent the first half of 2021 incarcerated for car theft as his viral song Back to the Bag viral, racking up millions of views. His debut mixtape, Parkside Baby, was recorded after he wrapped up a 12-month bid. His time spent in prison helped to shape a good chunk of his worldview. This was what he said about his mindset coming out of jail. "I recorded this tape ever since I came out of jail," he explained. "Just by coming out of jail, I was really motivated. My mindset was, I gotta go hard for me. That was last May, being out of jail, just trying to make the best music I could make. It all came together." As for what he learned behind bars, he said, "It's crazy. I could say a lot, but one thing I could for sure say on top of my head right now is I learned patience. I learned how to appreciate things more, like family and the little things." In June 2022, he was about to get into more serious trouble. A mass shooting erupted at a party hosted by MoneySign Suede at a local warehouse. For unknown reasons, a gunman opened fire, striking 2 people inside the venue and another on the sidewalk outside, who didn't survive. According to reports, the rapper was hosting a party to kick off the summer at a warehouse. Earlier in the day, fans met the Mexican-American rapper for a meet and greet. He was already becoming increasingly popular in the rap scene, as he had over 141,000 followers on his verified Instagram and millions of video views on his YouTube account. Things were seemingly normal during the day, but trouble erupted later in the evening at the party in the Boyle Heights section of Los Angeles. For reasons unknown to the public, the gunman opened fire and blasted up the party. This unfortunate incident took the lives of 2 people inside where the event was going on, and another person was found gravely injured on the sidewalks. The Los Angeles Police Department confirmed that 3 people were killed and 4 others wounded in a shooting early Sunday at a warehouse party in Boyle Heights. Neighbors of the Boyle Heights warehouse said they could hear the gunfire. "The shots woke us up," said one of the residents in the neighborhood who lives 2 doors down from the warehouse. She said she watched the commotion through her security camera. "Many of the young people running away the building after the shots were fired looked underage," she said. "They were yelling and screaming." Another resident said his wife woke him up after hearing 2 sets of gunshots, a burst of 10 shots, and then a minute later, a round of 5 shots. The man, who gave only his first name, Gilbert, said that his wife told him that the young people running down the street looked no older than 16 or 17. Officers received a call about 12:30 a.m. late in the night from someone requesting assistance for a friend who had been shot in the 1400 block of South Lorena Street, said Officer Luis Garcia with the Los Angeles Police Department. When officers arrived at the scene, they discovered 3 males who had been shot. Blood stained the sidewalk and clothes, including a sneaker, remained on the street in the hours after the violence as detectives and forensic photographers documented the scene. LAPD Detective Frank Carrillo said 3 people were killed and 4 others were taken to a hospital. "Some are stable, some aren't so stable," he said. The Los Angeles County Coroner's Office identified 2 of the victims as 25-year-old Randy Tyson and 27-year-old Daniel Dunbar. A third man, 22-year-old James Anguiano, died at the hospital and was identified some days later. Detective Carrillo said the weapons used in the shooting were semi-automatic. He also cited that an invite for the party had circulated on social media. Local rapper MoneySign Suede performed at the party earlier in the evening, according to reports. The upcoming rapper, who had been focused on staying out of trouble and taking advantage of his burgeoning career, took to Instagram to address the shooting. The artist offered condolences in an Instagram post. He wrote, "Just want to get on here real quick to send my condolences to what happened after this paid show yesterday. I pray for all the people who were injured and died last night. My condolences and heart goes out to all the families of this hurt. Didn't want none of that to happen. I was getting home already when I got the call. Sorry to everyone I'm good off shows for a minute. To those who still supporting me through it all, I love you." A relative of one of the injured victims told detectives that his little brother, 18-year-old Brandon Castro, had gone to see a rapper perform, most likely MoneySign Suede, and now he was in the hospital. The relative said, "My little brother happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time." This was just one of the numerous ways in which trouble crept behind MoneySign. 6 months after the Boyle Heights warehouse shootings, the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation said the rapper was sentenced to serve 2 years and 8 months for possessing or owning a firearm by a felon or addict as a second striker, and a 1-year, 4-month sentence for possession, owning a firearm, with conviction of a violent felony out of Riverside County. This was the sentencing that led him on the path to his murder. Suede's rise to fame. Before his life got cut short at the tender age of 22, MoneySign Suede was on the way to the top. We're going to take a look at his humble beginnings and how he made a name for himself as a Mexican-American rapper. MoneySign Suede, born Jamie Brugada Valdez, was an industrious West Coast rapper of Mexican descent. He was a product of Huntington Park, East Los Angeles, California, but he was not born there. He was born a little further east in Montebello and spent a chunk of his early life in South Central Los Angeles with 5 sisters and many nephews and nieces. His parents originally hailed from Mexico, in the state of Guerrero. At the age of 7, Suede's parents split up, with his father moving to the Bay Area. At the age of 10, Suede moved to Huntington Park and became involved in sports. Football was his first hobby, but he eventually also got heavily involved in skateboarding as well as boxing. Aspiring and determined in nature, he chased professional status in both hobbies, but ultimately shoved those dreams aside after he got into music. When Suede clocked 16, shortly after his father moved back to Los Angeles, he attended his first ever rap show, which inspired him to pick up rap and start rapping with friends at school. He uploaded his first track online in 2016, and it soon amassed 30,000 streams. Not bad for a 16-year-old. Poppin' was another self-released track. Suede began catching a buzz for his music soon after turning 18. In 2020, he turned heads with his song Back to the Bag, reflecting on his personal traumas and demons over chilled piano chords and a West Coast tempo. The track caught the attention of mega-popular record label Atlantic Records, which signed him up immediately. He collaborated with ASAP's and Kid Adil on the track Came a Long Way, which unfortunately coincided with Suede starting his 10-month prison sentence. It was also that same month, in September, in which Atlantic Records gave their full blessing and promotion to Back to the Bag. As a result, the track hit 1 million streams in early 2021. This was a bittersweet moment for Suede, as he was still behind bars when the viral track crossed this massive landmark. Suede told Passion of the Weiss in 2021 of the song's video, which reached 1 million views while he was behind bars. "I didn't really know how to feel because I was in jail." He continued, "It's hard to focus on that and feel hopeful. You can't really force yourself to be happy. I didn't really feel it like that, you know?" It also hit 3 million streams within its first 2 years of release. When Suede got out from prison in the middle of the year, there happened to be a respectable audience waiting to consume the fittingly titled I'm Back, as well as Veteran, featuring hometown compatriots Babystone Gorillas. The music video for the new song I'm Back, which was produced by Laudiano and directed by Kevin Mora, was released just a few days after Suede was released from jail. The video currently has 3.7 million views. I know what you've been thinking since the beginning of this video. Where did the name MoneySign Suede come from? The Huntington Park rapper explained it himself in an interview. He stated, "It's because I used to tag. I got my name from tagging. I remember all the homies started tagging. Everybody had a tagging name already. I didn't have no tagging name. I remember before Suede, we tried a couple of different names. I remember Slim was gonna be my name. I'm like, nah, that's not it. We're trying to find a name. I looked at my Puma Suede the shoes and I see Suede on the side. Since then, I started tagging Suede and it just looked right. I stuck with it. I started rapping and stayed with the name. Got it from tagging though." In case you're wondering what tagging means, it's a term used for street art or graffiti, which entailed repeated use of a single symbol or series of symbols to mark territory. In 2022, he released his debut EP, March 2022's MoneySign Suede. The Huntington Park rapper was dubbed the Mexican-American Kodak Black by his fans following the success of his debut project. This was a huge compliment to MoneySign Suede, as Kodak Black is one of the most popular rappers in America. The following month, a 3-artist EP, Grimy Park, featuring MoneySign Suede with Swifty Blue and Peso was released. A few months after that, he issued numerous one-off collaborations with the likes of Young Demon, Phoenix Flexin, Speed Eye, Lil Maru, Cypress Moreno, DCG Brothers, and Lil Weirdo. September 2022 saw the release of his first album, Parkside Baby. It was described as a sprawling, inventive, well-produced record that featured the singles Can't Change and Millions. Further collaborations took shape, including Shooters on Go with BME Diego and MCM Belt with Just Incredible. 2 months later, he went on to release Parkside Santa, a companion mixtape to his debut project. This boy really knows how to put in the work. In describing himself to All Hip Hop, MoneySign Suede states, "He's a young rapper from LA, young Mexican. One of the first Mexicans to do this for real the way I'm trying to do it. Mainstream, I really want to get up there. Parkside Baby, the chosen one. I want to be big. I want to make history. I want to be legendary. I want to be on some other I'm not a typical rapper." Even though this may seem arrogant and cocky, Suede was telling the truth here. He really was on his way to becoming big. It had only been 6 years since the 22-year-old started rapping, but music proved to be his saving grace from the streets. To date, he already has standout collaborations with Ty Dolla $ign, Remble, Phoenix Flexin, and more. Who killed him? Following the gruesome ordeal with MoneySign Suede, a full-scale investigation was launched, and the investigation would be a joint effort by both the prison's Investigative Services Unit and the Monterey County District Attorney's Office. In order to ensure a thorough investigation, the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation restricted the free movement of the inmates in the correctional training facility. So far in this investigation, 3 key facts are known concerning the death of MoneySign Suede. Firstly, his death was a homicide. This fact was confirmed by his attorney, Nicholas Rosenberg. The facility also categorically reported that he was found unresponsive in another area of the housing unit with injuries consistent with a homicide. The next key fact known to us is that Suede had been previously targeted and attacked before this fatal incident. This was also corroborated by his attorney, who stated that the rapper had been attacked in prison before Tuesday's incident. The third key fact is that there is currently no established motive for the murder of MoneySign Suede. The California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation has confirmed that the motive behind the murder remains unknown, and an investigation is ongoing to find out the circumstances leading to Suede's death. With these 3 key facts available to us, we can try to deduce who really killed Suede. Seeing as there was a previous attack, we can infer that the suspect was really out to get Suede, and the murder was clearly premeditated. Now, why would someone meticulously plan the murder of Suede just 4 months into his sentence? Coupled with the fact that his attorney stated he was a mild-mannered and easygoing person who everybody loved, I find it hard to think that Suede could have been the one calling attention to himself in the correctional training facility. Clearly, the problem had to have come from outside. Is it possible that some of the gang affiliations Suede had on the outside had finally come to bite him on the inside? The gangs, organized along racial lines, have historically been a major source of inmate friction and disorder within the California prison system. Specifically, there are about 5 inmate gangs that dominate the California prison system. The first of the gangs to appear in the state system was the Mexican Mafia. The gang's members are primarily Latinos from Southern California. Another gang that has been a crucial contributor to the racial divide in prisons is the Black Guerrilla family, which was founded in San Quentin Prison in 1966. The Black Guerrilla family dwindled in numbers during the 1990s, but there has been a recent drive to rebuild its membership, recruiting heavily from black street gangs such as the Crips and the Bloods. 2 white gangs, namely the Aryan Brotherhood and the Nazi Low Riders, have contributed their own instability to the ethnic mix inside state prisons. Suede was believed to be active in the street gang Surenos. In case you are not aware of what Surenos is all about, Surenos is a Chicano street gang that is well active in Southern California. They can still be identified as Southern United Raza. They are said to pay tribute to the already mentioned Mexican Mafia while in U.S. state and federal correctional facilities. The Surenos' main stronghold is in Southern California. Sureno groups are involved in many aspects of criminal activity, including homicide, drug trafficking, kidnapping, assaults, carjackings, home invasions, robbery, and human trafficking. Many Sureno gangs have rivalries with one another, and the only time this rivalry is set aside is when they enter the prison system. So I think we can safely rule out any Sureno gang-affiliated attack. The Surenos also had external rivals, such as the Bloods, Latin King, Nuestra Familia, and the Tiny Rascal gang. He has also been heavily linked to the Bloods gang and other violent street gangs. While there is no concrete proof that MoneySign Suede belongs to any of these gangs, it is still heavily debated. In fact, some people actually believed and said that MoneySign Suede was affiliated with the Surenos when he was alive. He came out publicly and fully debunked the claim. While there might be signs that suggest he was once a gang member, MoneySign Suede had repeatedly made a stand before his death that he was done with the worst aspect of gang life. But note that he said he was done with gang life, meaning he was deeply involved in it before. Who knows what unlawful things he might have seen or, God forbid, done while he was entrenched in that life. So even after leaving all the gang baggage behind, his punishment for those possible deeds still came back to haunt him. Another possible theory as to what motivated the suspect to kill Suede was the act of payback. For instance, it was alleged that MoneySign Suede was involved in the shootout that led to the demise of 3 individuals and grave injuries to 4 other individuals. So a relative or associate of any of the affected individuals in the Boyle Heights warehouse shooting could put the entirety of the blame on Suede and decide to murder him as an act of payback. 22-year-old Jamie Brugada was a future star whose life got snatched away in the violence-infested cesspool called the California prison system. The motive behind this rapper's murder has yet to be established, but it's mostly down to 2 options: a gang hit or an act of revenge. If you enjoyed this video, check out our other awesome videos on the channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.